What if a man has been chasing the same dream for over 30 years and is still not done? Meet Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria, presidential candidate in 2019, presidential candidate in 2023, and now he's confirmed he's coming back for 2027. This week, in a sit-down interview on Arise TV, Atiku made it official. He's throwing his hat in the ring one more time, and he's calling it his last attempt. So today, we are breaking down everything: why Atiku thinks 2027 is finally his year, who stands in his way, and whether this is a bold comeback story or a political gamble that's already lost. Stay with me. Let's start with what Atiku actually said. In his Arise TV interview with Ace anchor Charles Aniogolu, the former vice president confirmed he will be running for president in 2027, this time on the platform of the African Democratic Congress (ADC). That's the party the opposition has been rallying around to take on President Bola Tinubu's APC. Now here's the thing. This wasn't really a secret. Atiku has been one of the driving forces behind building the ADC into an opposition coalition. He even supported Senator David Mark becoming the party's chairman. You don't do all of this just to sit down on the sideline. He also promised this will be his final run. And honestly, you can do the math. Atiku will be 80 years old by 2027. By the next election in 2031, he will be 84. So yes, this is genuinely his last throw of the dice. His speech, he says he will serve one term, then support power rotating back to the south in 2031. He's even promised to push for a constitutional amendment enshrining rotational presidency if he wins. Bold promises. But does his track record back them up? We'll come back to that later. Now, let's be honest. Atiku has thought every election was his big chance. In 2023, he believed he had the perfect setup, no incumbent to compete with, and he was the dominant northern candidate while the south split his votes between Tinubu and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. On paper, a northern sweep looked inevitable, but it didn't happen. The PDP fell into internal crisis, and Tinubu, a master political strategist, deployed his network to outmaneuver him. So why would 2027 be any different? Two words: economic pain. Tinubu's reforms, removing fuel subsidies, floating the naira, have produced real macroeconomic gains. Inflation is coming down, foreign reserves are building, but on the streets, people are suffering. The cost of living has crushed millions of Nigerians, and in politics, the streets are where the votes live. On top of that, there's a perception in large parts of northern Nigeria that Tinubu is pursuing an anti-North agenda. Some influential Islamic clerics, who are among the most powerful political influencers in the north, are actively preaching against him. That's not nothing. For Atiku, he sees this as an opening. He wants to be the candidate who channels northern discontent and rides it all the way to Aso Villa. Atiku has made a bold claim in his interview. He said he's more popular in the north than Rabiu Kwankwaso, Tambuwal, and El-Rufai. Is he right? Well, let's look at the data. In 2019, Atiku pulled in 5.2 million northern votes as a PDP candidate. In 2023, even with all the headwinds, he still got 4.8 million northern votes. Kwankwaso, who ran on the NMPP platform in 2023, got just 1.5 million northern votes. Tambuwal and El-Rufai have never run in a national election, so there's no benchmark for them at all. On the raw numbers, Atiku has a point. His electoral pedigree in the north is real, whatever else you think of him. But here's the catch. The ADC is still finding his feet, boasting about being more popular than your partners in the coalition, while the house isn't even fully built yet. That's just a strange flex. And now, we get back to the most explosive part of the story: Peter Obi and the obedience. A significant faction within the ADC coalition desperately wants Obi, not Atiku, to be the presidential candidate. When Aniogolu asked Atiku point blank if he would step aside for Obi, Atiku said no, he would not step down, but he will support whoever emerges through the process, whether by consensus or by primary. The answer has sent shockwaves through social media, and rightfully so. Some obedience are furious. They have threatened that if Peter Obi does not get the ticket, they will either stay at home or, this is wild, vote for Tinubu in protest just to punish Atiku. But here's the nuance people keep missing. Atiku is not the only obstacle between Obi and an ADC ticket. Rotimi Amechi is also a presidential aspirant within the ADC. He came second in the APC's 2022 primary, above the sitting vice president, Yemi Osinbajo. So he's not someone you can dismiss. He's from the south too, which matters if the party considers zoning out northern candidates. And under the Electoral Act, every aspirant must agree in writing for a consensus candidate to be valid. Even if one person dissents, there has to be a primary. So what do obedience actually want? It seems they want Obi anointed as consensus candidates without going through a primary, because frankly, Many believe Obi might struggle in a traditional primary where money, not popularity, often decides the outcome, as we know in Nigeria. The irony, the solution is sitting right there. The ADC uses a direct primary, meaning every party member votes. If obedience truly have the numbers they claim, they should join the ADC in their millions and vote for their man. Do they know this? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Does Atiku actually believe in power rotation? Look at his history. Since 2003, he has contested or attempted to contest the presidency in nearly every single election cycle, regardless of which region was due to be in power. He briefly considered running against Obasanjo, his own principal, in 2003 when the South was in power. He ran in 2007 on Tinubu's Action Congress platform when the North itself was contesting whether the South should continue. He tried to challenge Goodluck Jonathan in 2011 when Jonathan's Southern presidency was still in his first term. He pushed back for the ticket in 2015, then 2019, then 2023. In his Arise TV interview, he argued that the South has been in power longer than the North since 1999, which is just a creative way to sidestep the rotation argument entirely. And when you listen to him talk about 2027, he speaks as if the election is already won, as if Northern votes alone are enough to hand him victory. But Muhammadu Buhari made that exact mistake 3 times before he finally built a national coalition in 2015 with the help of his Southern President Bola Tinubu. Atiku sounds dangerously confident, or as the columnist Simon Kolawole put it, is this hubris. So stepping back, what does this all mean for Nigeria's 2027 election? We now have a clearer picture of the opposition battlefield. Atiku is in and is playing to win, not to facilitate anyone else. Peter Obi is in, backed by enormous street-level enthusiasm and digital energy from the youth, but uncertain about navigating party politics. Amechi is a dark horse who shouldn't be underestimated. Kwankwaso and El-Rufai are also circling. On the other side, Tinubu is going to run on his economic reform record, arguing that the pain was necessary and the gains are coming. His APC machine is formidable, of course, and incumbency in Nigeria is a powerful advantage. The opposition's only real path to victory is unity, and right now, unity looks a long way off. The ADC was supposed to be the big tent, but big tents have a habit of collapsing when there are too many competing egos pulling it in different directions. So where does this leave us? Atiku Abubakar, a man who has spent his entire political life one step away from the presidency, is making one final bet. He's 77 years old, he's backed by decades of political experience, genuine northern support, and the hunger of a man who has never stopped believing it is his destiny. But destiny doesn't win elections, organization does, coalition does, and the ability to unite, not divide the people who are supposed to be on your side. The obedient are furious, and rightfully so. Amechi is watching, Tinubu is preparing, and Nigerian voters, exhausted, economically stressed, but still engaged, will ultimately decide. Is 2027 Atiku's moment, or is this truly his last throw of the dice? And will it come up empty one final time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Atiku, Team Obi, or is there someone else entirely you are watching in 2027? Even if it's President Tinubu, don't be shy about dropping it in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you found this breakdown useful, like and subscribe. We cover Nigerian politics, policy, and power without noise. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching up to this point.